Reykjavik is an island between Madagascar and Mozambique. I'm the Prime Minister and I hope you enjoy our PowerPoint about Reykjavik. My team consists of physical geography run by Makindi, human geography run by Chloe, economy run by Gabriel, and history and culture run by Abigail.
Economy.
The main industry that would be perfect for Ireland would be fishing. As the country is an island with no countries attached to it, fishing could be taken out all over the island for maximum usage of water with the fish we have. We would have a port in the North and South Island. As you can see, it's a North Island and there's South. So you can distribute fish to India, Australia, and as well as Africa. In Cochlear, we are mainly going to manufacture ships because there is a port to the west of it. This would be for fishing trade, so we wouldn't have to buy boats from their country, and we would be able to trade with other countries like India. We would buy wood from South Africa cheaply because we would ship it over ourselves. Our tourism industry would attract many people from all over the world because of our beaches south and west of Makindi. It is just below the equator, so it's going to be very hot for anyone who's deciding to go on a holiday to the beach in the country. Tidal waves come down past the country and into Makindi Bay, which would make it just the right place for surfing. Furthermore, in the same place, there would be a huge beach full of sand that people would come down to go on holiday there. Next to the beach, there are going to be hotels, theme parks, leisure activities, shops, and many more. In Africa, many crops can't grow because of the heat, and it dries them up, and the ground isn't right for it. This is why we're going to build a genetic modification industry in the west of our country, so that Reykjavik and Africa would be able to grow crops and live properly. A big threat to the people in Africa is animals like lions, elephants and hippos. If we built a weapons technology industry in the centre of the island, then we could design a dart that if shot at a dangerous animal, it would make them fall asleep instantly instead of killing them. This would make sure that no one would be killed or hurt by the wild animals again. Solar energy would be the main way of getting power to Ireland and other countries. The energy that we do not use would go to some of the poorer places in Africa so that they can have power as well as us. Because of the intense sun, they will be placed on the equator in Makindi Bay, and we will make hydroelectric energy. Just below there would be a nuclear power plant next to factories. A coal-fired power station would be put in the north of our country, because we could trade boats and power with China for coal. On the top of Mount Makindi, there would be wind turbines, because it's so high up, there would be the most amount of wind produced up there.
I did physical geography. The climate is tropical around the coast and colder towards the inside of the country, with a constant breeze throughout. It doesn't snow in the summer, and it can get up to a temperature of 48 degrees Celsius and maybe higher. They will have mild winters but warm enough to go out in a t-shirt. Our climate can cause dehydration and sunburn. Sunburn could lead to high chances of skin cancer across the country. Having our country have a hotter climate, it can make it a lot harder for crops and plants to grow, which could affect our income and economy. It could also make it harder for the locals to produce their own foods or get them locally to support their own community. The shape of our country, well, we lost this slide that demonstrated it, but there's a drawing here. I don't know if everyone can see it or not. Our country has a coastline to the Indian Ocean just between Mozambique and Madagascar. It is an island of its own right and has harbours so ships can get out, as well as shipping products and produce to other countries. We have made the island so it doesn't touch Mozambique and Madagascar, so it doesn't ruin the coral reef in the sea. We have placed the Ratiaba in a safe place that is warm, so it will attract tourists. It is safe because it is away from tectonic plates and it doesn't have many tidal waves. We have made it so our country is able to ship things to other countries easily and also fly things as well. Topography and rivers. Our country has hills, mountains and flatland. We have hills in the north, northeast and west of our country and mountains in the southeast. There is flat or sloping land everywhere else. We have chosen this topography to create a good contrast and variation. The hills also get used for wind turbines so that they can help power the houses and to produce free electricity. Some of the flat land and hills will have solar panels on them. Hopefully the turbines and solar panels combined will create half the electricity needed. We have more solar panels plants than turbines because our country has more sun than wind. Water on the land. The water on the land could cause flooding, which could lead to waterlogged crops and fields. Because of this, it may affect the income we have from fresh local produce. We have placed rivers mainly in the flatter sloping land and mainly away from larger cities to try and avoid any disaster flooding that could possibly happen and cause unnecessary hassle. We have also built houses nearer the rivers on high foundations or stilts, just to increase any or decrease any major flooding that may occur. There is a large lake just northwest from the city Tumatua. This is a very big tourist attraction because people from around the world come to swim in it. It's like a large swimming pool, clean water, warm, shallow at one end and deeper at the other. The only difference is it is not man-made. Natural hazards. The natural hazards that our country could suffer from as a whole are drought and flooding. We can tackle drought by collecting the flood water in a big tank and sterilise it so that it can be safe to drink. When drought occurs, people will only be allowed a certain amount of water per day. This should hopefully get us by. Our backup is to import water from other countries. To protect our country from long-term damage by flooding, we will build houses on a rising foundation or stilts so that they are safe from water damage. We will also make coastal barriers to try and restore any natural coasts or bays.
I did history and culture, and our national religion is Christianity. We allow other religions as well. Our places of worship are placed in cities and villages for the different religions in our country. The reason why they're placed in cities and villages is so an individual or group can perform an act of devotion, veneration, or a religious study. Temples, churches, and mosques are the examples of structure created for worship. Our political system that we have in our country is communism. This is our decision because it's a government system which plans and controls the economy. Often the parties hold the power, and we allow most people into our country, but there are a few countries that we don't, and we don't allow people with previous convictions into our country. We want people to come to our country and feel safe and protected. We need different people to come to our country for reasons of needing them for specialist skills and actually help our country develop. And that's our timeline. It goes from separated from Madagascar to like our our support to the homeless. And our first verse of our national anthem is, "Let us rejoice, let us be free and safe, be reliable. Our land is in nature's gifts, in history's page, let us age, let us rejoice. Be joyful, let us sing, God save our."
My slides were lost, so I got to do it all by reading. Our country is called Luatara, and it is called this because it means reliable in Finnish, which was our previous language. We think that our country will be reliable to others when trading, and we feel strongly that we can offer safe homes and amazing deals for living in our country, including having a good life. All we ask is that for us being reliable for you, we have no trouble and more behaved citizens. No trouble means a better life for everyone. Our capital city is called Kapusta, and it is located on the southeast side of the island by the coast. The city is the capital and is the fishing destination on the island. It is where we fish and ship off around to all other countries around the island. We then have another city called Cratch, which up in the northwest ships out to Mozambique. Our food grows in Miesto, which is also where our wine is created, and it holds the best winemakers in the country. Pez and Kochborough are towards the west of the country and are villages and rest stops for travellers. Kudzi is connected to Benotta, and the two countries trade with different parts of Africa. People will mostly live towards the centre of the island, but cities and towns are evenly spread about. There are towns towards the bays, beaches and tourists and fishing training. Our country is mainly rural, as we want it to be like a holiday destination for other tourists. We build and grow all of our food towards the centre of the island. Any other foods that we need we get from Mozambique or other towns on the African coast. We have mostly cars and trains to get around the country. Our railway lines go through the centre of the country from the north to southwest. We have canals for transportation ways of shipping from one side of the country to the other, and we have trams and underground ways for travel. Our towns are mostly full up of bicycle paths and walkways. This is our flag. The red in the middle of the diamond represents our passion and devotion for making a difference. The yellow represents cleanliness and that we are a bright and cheerful country. The fish show that we're a fishing country, and the two blue stars represent our seaports.